Hi, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Carrie Penny. I am the Happy Crafty Homemaker, and welcome to show and tell number 163. Guess what, you guys? It's not 3 o'clock in the morning. It's actually 10 o'clock in the morning. I did actually more or less sleep till 6 o'clock today. Banner woke me up at 10:30 last night. Pippin woke me up at 10 or at midnight, and then again at 3:30. But I was able to go back to sleep each time. I actually got sleep. It was amazing. So it is flippin' freezing here. While I know many of you guys live further north than I do and experience much colder colds than we do, for it to be 30 degrees on my walk the last 2 mornings in a row, this time of year particularly, not normal. Not normal for us down here. No. I was not prepared for this. No, I was not. Good thing is I am a knitter and a crocheter, and I have plenty of hats and scarves. So I have been able to at least tuck those into my coat, and I do have a new pair of gloves that actually fit properly. It is that time of year again. Do-da, do-da. Anyway. So as far as things in my basket this week, there's progress to share, but not a whole lot to show for my time. I didn't get a whole lot done this week. I've been doing a lot of cleaning and sorting and organizing. I have been tidying up like where I have yarn and projects all over upstairs. I have one more cart upstairs to go through. I am about to start reorganizing my printed out patterns. I just took delivery of a bunch of 3-inch binders yesterday. So I am going to start sorting by type. I just got a new box of 500 page protectors so I can sort everything neatly. And then in each subgroup, I'll be able to do, I've already made these. These are my notes on this. I have not made these. These are my notes on that. So I went through all of my mandala and cupcakes, Lion Brand mandala and cupcakes, and pulled out any single skeins. I also pulled out my doubles. And when I say like this took a long period of time, I ended up clearing a lot of space on my shelf there. Everything was kind of jammed in. I did clear off a lot of space, but real quick, as I had not planned on discussing this, I did not grab this basket. So this basket is full of my doubles. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to pair these into quads. So I've got 2 of these and 2 of these. That'll make a pretty shawl held 2 together. And go ahead and I can either start working on these now or use these next spring during Advent when I do, or during Lent when I do a shawl a week during Lent. I might do a shawl a week during Advent right now. I have not purchased an Advent calendar for 2022. So, other than maybe doing like the pucka tee, I am not quite sure what I'm going to do. So, I had thought about getting the Southern Skeins Advent calendar and decided not to when it first came out, and then every time it's been available again, I have failed to get it when the deluxe sock was available. And now, of course, she's not doing any more shop updates to put any more on the list, and so there's that. I've looked at a couple. I know Erica is doing one, the Lopsided Crafter, but I was kind of hoping to have something with a little bit more traditional Christmas colors in it this year. And she's doing something extremely fun. So if y'all got on the list for the Advent calendar, I'm very envious. The project I had planned would not work with that. But unfortunately, she's not going to be doing as many shop updates. She went back to nursing, which I'm extremely excited about for her. But her plans for her Advent calendar weren't going to work with what I wanted to do this year. So I don't know. I like the idea of doing the advent calendars, the yarn advent calendars, but I feel a little burned from last year still. I don't know. I still haven't even finished the shawl yet. I finished the socks, but never woven the ends. And I have like 2 more sections on the shawl. And we still don't have the sweater pattern. So yeah, I'm feeling a little salty. I did also look at Queen City Yarn, who is a local dyer. If you guys have gotten a package from me recently, it's either probably had something from Queen City in it or Erica. So I like the colors that they're doing for theirs. I may still order one. I think they've got a couple still available. It's not quite what I was looking for though, so I'm kind of early voter registration stuff. I was looking at the text messages. If you guys can't tell, I can tell on the screen. I don't know how this is going to look by the time I'm done adding anything I add to the screen, but the clarity on my camera is a lot better. Hopefully the sound is a little bit better. If not, I will look into getting a clip-on microphone to increase the sound just a little bit. My voice does tend to carry though, so that's really not been an issue unless I start like tapering off, muttering something. But anyway, I have enough worsted weight scraps and 20 ounce or 20 gram balls that I still could do my own advent calendar this year. I don't quite have enough in my socks, I don't think, but I'll figure something out to make Vlogmas fun. I'm not too worried about it. It's not a, once again, it's not a must do. It's a would be nice to do. So anyway, I've been doing all the tidying. Like I said, I may still do a shawl with the twosies. I took the singles, which really weren't that many because I have done a really good job at working all the mandala and cupcakes together. I had, I think, maybe 4 singles. So I did take those upstairs and I put those in my travel bag to go with my DK weight scrap squares, as I was starting to run low on yarn for those. So I have 4 squares that I got done this week, and I did go ahead and weave in the ends. I have 2 of the last 20 left to weave in the ends onto. So I really love how this turned out. So this is a DK weight sock yarn from Mary Maxim. It's called, the color was Wildflowers, but it's paired with a mandala cupcake that is coral, gray, and teal. And I love how this one turned out with the mottled sock yarn and the transition of the colors. So this was an oopsie cake. There was supposed to be more colors in it, but it only ended up with the teal, the gray, and the coral. And then this color is actually this up here. But it's funny when I get these done because you can see like where I went from one to the other. But yeah, so I mean, this seems like it's not a whole lot to share, but I'll be honest, these generally take me about an hour and a half each. These are 14 by 14 corner by corner or corner to corner, C2C squares done with a size J hook, which is a 6mm hook, with double stranded sport or DK weight yarn. So these are, I had some yarn left over from a kit that was one of those like came with the magazine kit. So that's what like some of this is. Some of this is mandala. Like I said, I have the sock yarn in here. And it seems like I had something else. Maybe that's the one I'm working on. But I do have some bloom in there from where I did my hat and cowl set last year with the hummingbird. This one right here. And I also have some left over, I think, in this one that's in there. Maybe it's the white base. But anyway, so I mean, I have a little bit more than just the mandala going in there, but now we're down to primarily that's what my scraps are made up of. So there we go with that. And actually, these are the only things I finished this week. That's the end of my FOs. I don't even have actual acquisitions actually this week because I've been doing really well with not buying things because my buying season's over with the end of the Southern Comfort Fiber Market, the Charlotte area yarn crawl. I might make a purchase closer towards Christmas when things like Christmas kits and stuff go on sale, or maybe the Halloween kits. There might be something, you know, that's interesting to me, but by and large, I'm done shopping for craft supplies for the rest of the year. So we're back to working through things. I did, before I show you where I am on this, I don't know how much you can see where these yarns are no longer squished, and there's a whole bunch of holy space there. There's also some holy space up, but tilting this camera is very, very difficult. And I rotated just a little bit further to the corner of this side just to keep the shadow off my face. This new phone is picking up a lot more shadow. That's what I was actually going to say about having the new phone and everything looking a little bit clearer. So I did take all the yarn that I plan on using to join all these scrap squares that I've been doing for the donation blankets. I did take all that upstairs. It's all in one basket. That's part of what I've been organizing and sorting the last week. Trying to make sure that, like, I'm not taking over all the space in my house because my husband does need to have room here. As much as he doesn't care that I spend all of my free money on craft supplies, I do think he might start to mind that if I literally take over the entire house. But I did finish joining the blocks for my current blanket I've been working on. Unfortunately, this is now like the third week where I've showed, like, I've made progress, but I haven't finished it yet. Joining these might take me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take. We've also been, once again, a lot on the road this week. It's been a lot busier than anticipated. But I did finish joining everything. This is actually the last row that I joined. And we did keep in the scrap alternated rectangle pattern, or diamond pattern, I mean. The border I have done so far is I did a row of double crochets with the gray, which is what I joined it in. A half double crochet in the blue, and then I came back through and I'm doing a double crochet in the third loop, so that turns in and you get a nice little ridgy ridge there. And I have 2 more balls after this one, so 2.5 balls of this charcoal gray. This is a Thunder in the Impeccable line. So I'll probably come back around and do a row of reverse single crochet or crop stitch. That just gives me a firmer border on these. I really feel like sometimes with blankets made up of squares, we tend to get this looser, stretches out more fabric, and because these are put together, I don't want to put any more stress on those seamed sides than necessary. So I think doing a firmer border on the outside of a blanket prevents some of that stretching and pulling where the squares have been joined, which is also why, like, I'm really weird about trying to do that firm border. Just a single crochet most of the time is enough, just finishing it with a single crochet, but I do like the way that reverse single crochet looks. And that stitch does not have a whole lot of stretch. Sorry, I'm still freezing. Like I said, it's already in the 30s down here. So the next thing, I got a email from a yarn company saying that they were going to be doing an online class using this pattern. And I will try to remember to leave this in the description box down below. But this is Gretchen Knits Sampler Stitch Beginner Cowl. And that's what it looks like finished. And I just happened to notice that this was using bulky weight yarn. And that's one of the things, you know, I had set out at the beginning of the year to kind of focus on. And I really haven't touched at all on my bulky weight yarn. I haven't used any bulky or chunky weight yarns this year. So I haven't been able to mark any off. And I was like, well, I've made substantial progress and hit my mile marker with the worsted weights. And I'm still going to be using more of the worsted weight acrylics over the course of the next 3 months while I am finishing up these blankets, or at least trying to put a dent in putting these squares together. Why not? If I can't work on that, work on something else. So Sunday night, we watched Halloween 3, which, while not a Michael Myers movie, I actually really like the movie. It's very dated. There are certain things like him putting the moves on her, you know, literally 2 seconds after they meet. That's very, but the concept of the movie, what made the movie scary and what made the movie creepy, is actually really good. And I would love to see a remake. But part of this might be, I am a product of my era. And I grew up with Goosebump books. And there is a Goosebumps book, I think it's like book 12 or something, that was very similar in theme, with the mask that turns you into a monster or kills you. I think they did monsters, but the mask kills you in the movie. So I don't know. I really enjoyed watching. I watch it once every like 5 years, but it's a bad movie in that it's very dated, and I think it could be much better. It could, like, there are things missing that could have been done to make this a great horror movie. But because it is different, because it is kind of clever, because it plays with different themes, it does different things. They don't mispronounce Samhain, which should not bother me as much as it does, but it really does bug me in horror movies now. But it's so clever, and I appreciate a good, clever movie. And to me, that's more important than the movie technically being good, is at least trying to do something different. And even now, that movie still reads as they tried to do something different than even what's being produced now. Also, I think Justin Long, who was in the Jeepers Creepers movies, has a new movie coming out on HBO Max, or it'll be released on HBO Max next week. And it's called The Barbarian. And I've got that like marked as something I want to try to check out. I don't know why I'm sitting here. Anyway, we decided to watch that Sunday night. And I decided, since Pippin was laying in my basket and I couldn't get to the blanket, I would start a new project. And I started this because I had seen it on that email. All that to say that. So this is where I am on it. Wow, it's even brighter on camera. So I've done the first 4 sections. I'm halfway through section number 5 down here, which is a diagonal rib stitch, which I love how great this thing is picking up the definition on that. With this much of a bright color, it is a little bit harder generally to show those things off, but the camera seems to be picking it up real nicely. We do have a broken rib, or a seed stitch rib here. That was just a moss stitch. We have a reverse stockinette and stockinette making welt. So I did decide to double width this. It would normally only take 100 grams, and mine somehow, like, these are 173 grams, and I've already finished an entire skein. So I'm tracking to use more than 200 grams for this, but that's fine. But it's double width. I'm really enjoying how this is working up, how this is turning out. I've got my interchangeable ChiaoGoo needles here in a size 10. I did drop down to a size 10. I'm using the Red Heart Chunky in Grenadine. And I got this on sale for like $1 a ball, maybe $1.25 at Michael's when they were clearancing out all this. So these are number 5 bulky. I just got dust in my nose. I kicked something up. It's either dust or flu. Oh, my allergies have been brutal. So I thought I had a cold last week. I did not. It's allergies. It says 10.5 needle, L, 8mm hook. These are 5 ounces, 100 41 grams, 173 yards, 158 meters, but it is breadth, very, very breadth. So I am enjoying this. I am enjoying working this up. I do love a good sampler. I just think samplers are one of the most fun projects. You never quite get an opportunity to get bored. And if you find a stitch to be frustrating, it's going to end very quickly. So I am all for sampler projects. So I am also going to knit a hat to match this. And I'm going to do, once again, just a basic rib hat that comes down to like here that I can fold up and really keep my ears warm. My nose and my ears are what hurt so bad when I go out. So yeah, I also, while I was down here and pulling this yarn, decided, because I have a bunch of Patton's Alpaca yarn, to take one of the 3 skein colors that I have, where I've just got 3 skeins of the one color, and I'm going to do it as written in the narrower size, which is just a little bit more dainty. I could wear it out more, like, you know, with a jacket and nice clothes, versus I'm making this to go with my heavy coat, you know, chunky, stay warm, functional. And I will also probably make a hat or an ear warmer using the alpaca as well. So I have plans on another set using the same pattern because I really do enjoy this. But yeah, that's really all. I did somehow manage to talk to you guys for 20 minutes. There's just so many random little things. Because I have not started the next blanket, I have not done the tutorial on how I'm doing the continuous join, or the join as you go method for the squares. That is still coming. I'm still planning on doing that. I just wanted to get the next blanket started and use that as a starting point instead of trying to like do too many things at once or have too many things going at once. So hopefully next week I will have an opportunity to sit down and film that. It won't happen this weekend, I know, but sometimes things just are as they are. They are what they are, and we just have to make do with that. But yeah, so hopefully next week I will have the cowl finished, progress on the hat, I will have the blanket finished, and I'll have the new blanket started. I've already decided how I want to lay out the squares for the next blanket, so I'm pretty excited about that. It will take a little bit longer as we're going to start moving into the multicolor scrap squares, which is going to be a lot of weaving in ends as I go. So I will probably weave in the ends of a row at a time. So maybe we can break it up just a little bit. But like after weaving in the ends on 20 of these, or not the first 18, and then these 4, so I mean 22 in the last week, I'm a little tired of weaving in ends. I really should have done this as I went, but I did not. And I'm paying for it now. I did this to myself. So anyway, that's where we are. Hopefully next week we will get that tutorial out. Somebody did ask for a tutorial on doing the borders, but really, to be honest, it's double crochets, 3rd loop half double crochets. These aren't a designed border. They're just kind of basic stitches. So other than maybe writing down what I said I did or what I'm doing, there's really no pattern for them. There's no design to them. They're just basic stitches with a broken, I wanted to do a broken up color on these first couple ones because I had so much of that. It's not Delft blue. It's or maybe this one is Delft blue. I had 2 full unopened skeins of that, and I wanted to start once again using more of the Red Heart and Impeccable stuff. That was a great way for me to be able to break it up, extend the borders a little bit. I do think thicker borders on scrap gans kind of add to the cohesion, especially if you do a bicolor or a tricolor border. It kind of brings everything in and ties everything together and makes it look more cohesive versus a scrap project. But that's just my personal eye for how that works. So there will not be a tutorial for the border. There will be a tutorial, however, for the join as you go method for the corner to corner squares. So hopefully that'll get filmed early next week, and I'll either be able to put that out on Tuesday or Saturday next week. That's what we're aiming for though. Anyway, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful, fantastic weekend. There should be no more content from me for the rest of the week. I hope you have a fantastic week, and I will see you real soon, you guys. I love you, and as always, if you need anything from me, please feel free to reach out. My contact information is in the description box. Bye, you guys.